Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. How's everybody doing today? We hope you're doing well. It's always a pleasure to have you here. We always have a good time on our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. We have great guests that come from Broadway and Hollywood and television, film, music, inspiration, sports, culinary arts, and so much more, everything in between. Guests who come in from all levels of success, and we talk about life and our passions and all the great things that make living such a beautiful thing. And we've had some really impactful conversations too, sometimes really deep, inspiring conversations. The show is all about positive energy, light, love, levity as we've called it as well. Speaking of that, we could use a little of that, especially here in the Northeastern United States, as at the time of this show, keeping our fingers crossed, everything stays good. There's a big storm coming up the coast. It's Tropical Storm Ellis, I believe it is, or Elias. It's coming up and coming up from the Carolinas right now, and it's supposed to impact the Northeastern United States in a pretty stiff way. So everybody's been batting down the hatches and bringing in their toys and their patio furniture and things of that nature. It's definitely a coastal storm, so it's coming right up to the New York and Boston area. So it'll be an interesting night tonight and tomorrow. But we're here live right now for all of you. We've got an amazing guest live from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Sean Jones, yes, he's an extraordinary R&B singer and songwriter extraordinaire. He's going to play live for us as well, exclusively on the Jim Masters Show Live. We also have some cool videos we're going to show and lots more. If this is your first time sampling our show, we have done about 420 plus episodes, just about 7 days a week live here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And again, we always have fun. We always have a live audience that watches all around the world. They call themselves the Lovities. They call me Mr. Levity. They call this Levity Hall because in the summertime, I said that the show has light, love, and levity. And I said that a little too fast. And all of a sudden popped out of my mouth the word levity. Kind of cool. So we've run with that, and it's a pleasure to have everybody watching from all around the world. We welcome all the Lovities who are watching tonight from around the world. We would love it if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel. YouTube loves it too, but we're continuing to build this series, build this channel. We deliver top-notch entertainment, inspiring conversations, and a lot of cool things. And we have so many more plans as we go along for this show and this series, this Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. So if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is the one you're watching right now, Jim Masters TV, click that notification bell. And so that way there, you never miss any of our incredible entertainment and great guests and host Lovity viewer chats that we do and pop-up shows. And we're working on another pop-up show for this week as well. So that'll be cool. And other surprises, cool things we do here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. In addition to this series, we also have Masters Mantras, the visual and verbal positive inspirational video series, and lots more. So check it all out. Enjoy it. Peruse our channel, peruse all the episodes of JMS Live. We've got some really cool things we've done. Don't forget to drop a comment too on this episode, on this video. Give it a thumbs up, a like. We would love that. YouTube loves when that happens as well. It really helps our show. So I know you love to leave comments during the show, and we absolutely appreciate that. We love that, all the Lovities. But do it also on the YouTube channel if you can. That would be really, really cool. And again, special guest today, live and direct from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. He hails originally from Toronto, and we're really excited to have him here on the show. As I mentioned, he's going to perform live too, Sean Jones. He's all excited. We just did an audio check. That's right, a sound check to make sure everything is good and everything is sounding and looking great. Sean is a Juno award-winning R&B singer-songwriter. He's really determined to bring a fresh contemporary vibe to the classic soul sound, and that's inspired him in the past too, as much as it does today. 200 plus live renditions of soulful ballads, funky R&B workouts, and original material have consistently left audiences watching Sean do his thing absolutely breathless. Sean has enjoyed a distinguished career that has seen him perform on the shores of Monaco, not too bad, in the islands of Hawaii, at London's historic Trafalgar Square, and at New York's Carnegie Hall, as well as the Rainbow Room at Rockefeller Center in New York. Most recently, Sean has had the honor of opening for Ellen DeGeneres at Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia, and Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Sean also had the distinguished honor of performing for President Obama in Toronto, Canada. And also, Sean and the Righteous Echo, his band, have just finished their 5th year of Soul in the City at Casa Loma, which was a weekly summer series starring Sean Jones with a resounding success. That's just the short list of some of the cool things singer and songwriter Sean Jones has been doing in his world and his life. And he loves to tour. He's toured, all over, and not just in Canada. And he is really an amazing talent. Look at some of these cool shots that we have sort of scooped up here. I love that one. Carefree, enjoying life. And that's what he does. And he has a good time doing it as well. So in a recent album too, The Boarding Sessions with Sean and the Righteous Echo. And let's welcome him live and direct from beautiful Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, Sean Jones. Hey, Sean, welcome to the Jim Master Show Live.
Hey, thank you for having me, and thank you, Lovedies, everyone out there. Thank you so much for watching.
That's it. You got it right. Lovedies is what it's all about. And again, that's a word we just happened to, shoot out in the summertime, and everybody sort of fell in love with the word. And it's kind of cool during a pandemic to have the word levity sort of flow out of your mouth, right? We could all use more levity, right?
Absolutely, more levity, it just rolls off the lips. It just does.
Levity. It sure does, my friend. Kathleen is in New York City watching. She says, welcome, Sean. And Alessandra is watching from North Carolina, USA. Welcome, Sean. Maureen is watching from Arizona, USA. Welcome to Levity Hall, Sean. We're thrilled to have you. You've been to Arizona?
I have not been to
Arizona yet. Well, this summer, it's been like 120 degrees.
I heard, yeah.
She says, welcome to Levity Hall. And we're thrilled to have you as Jim's special guest this evening. She's a essential worker. She works in healthcare, so she's really had an interesting year.
Thank you so much for what you've been doing.
Her service. They just had a huge parade yesterday in New York City, massive parade in the streets of Manhattan. And you've been in Manhattan. You've had an opportunity to perform and visit New York, honoring the essential workers, which I think was a really beautiful thing to do, Mary Bishop's in Florida, sunny Florida. Although hopefully it's sunny. They went through the tropical storm that we're getting. So you couldn't have kept it down there, Mary, and just blew it out to the Atlantic, huh? She's terrific. She's one of our lovelies. Merlin is in Ontario.
Hey, how are you doing? My neighbor.
Inner Kip area. Yeah. She says, welcome, Sean, my neighbor. And when you're performing, I'm sure she's going to check you out. She's here all the time on our show as one of our lovelies. Kathy Short's in Cleveland. Have you been to Cleveland?
I drove to Cleveland. I did the 4-hour drive to Cleveland to watch Coldplay, actually.
Oh, you did?
Yep. Yeah, this was, I can't remember what year it was. It was but it was October. And I know this only because the next day we went to Lenny Kravitz in Toronto. And that was right on my birthday on October 23rd. So we did 2 concerts back to back. It was amazing.
October 23rd. Are you a Libra?
I'm a Libra Scorpio. I'm like right on the cusp, but I definitely have Scorpio traits, and I definitely have Libra traits as
I'm
well.
a Libra, yes. September 24th. And
Oh,
with the Virgo rising, I hear.
nice. My mom is the 27th of September, so you're in good company.
So you like balance and harmony. Libras like things, try to make things balanced, harmonious, bring things together. It's what you do in your music and why you like to entertain and perform, probably, I don't doubt, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How Christine has just gone through the storm in North Carolina, USA. She says, hello, Jim and lovely friends. The storm took my mailbox down, but kept power because they had tornadic weather, I believe, there. They had some tornadic weather in Jacksonville, Florida. Welcome, Sean, to the show tonight from Christine, watching in North Carolina. And Merlin goes that you're about a half hour, 30 minutes from her there in Ontario.
All right.
Which is really, really cool.
Coming over afterwards,
right? With the masks or?
Yeah, I'm double back. I'm not sure, whatever.
Yeah. And
it might be raining though, so I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it just started pouring here, so the storm is just about at our doorstep. Kathleen Walker, good friend, she and I were actually on the Rachel Ray TV show together, which was kind of cool, in New York. They filmed that in New York live. She goes, hey, Jim, happy to see you. Another Mets rain out because of the storm. Hi, everyone. She missed us. She works with the New York Mets baseball team in the city.
Oh, cool.
And she always gets upset when they play on nights when we have our show, which is every night, but she tries to work it out so she'll watch it live later. It's great that you took time for yourself. That's Maureen saying that, and Alessandra says, hi, Lovity family. So this is all the Lovity wave coming your way, my friend. Everybody welcoming.
That's great. That's so wonderful, man, that you've been able to build up this audience. That's amazing. And they're along with you for the ride. Like that's fantastic.
Wonderful, wonderful people. She missed us when we were on vacation. Have all of you others missed us too when we were away? I was telling you, we went to New Hampshire. We climbed Mount Washington, and we just had a wonderful time in New Hampshire. Have you been to the New England area, Boston, and in through there?
Have I been through Boston? I don't know. Actually, I have not been in Boston as of yet. That is actually one place that I definitely would love to go.
Yeah, we realized when we were up in that part of northern New Hampshire that we were closer to Montreal probably than we were to New York or Connecticut. And so happy Thursday to you, Jim, and all the dear Lovities. It's been one of those weeks, so I am in desperate need of spending time with y'all. So that's Maureen. She's excited to be here as well. And a couple more coming in. We have Sherry Larson says, hello, everybody. She welcomes you as well. And these are the folks who comment live. And then we have a lot of people who are just watching who don't comment. So these are the real diehard Lovities that like to comment. And you're now a Lovity. Alessandra, North Carolina says you're part of the Lovity family, Sean. So
thank you.
So tell us my friend, how have you been? You and I were chatting before you went live. How have you been during, you're a performer, you're an entertainer, singer, songwriter. You want to be out amongst the crowd doing your thing. How have you been during all the craziness of this unusual time we've all experienced?
Yeah, when it first started, I, like everybody else, I think we, we're just like, oh, this is gonna pass. This is something that's here. It'll eventually fade away. Life will go back to normal. So nothing. It wasn't too concerning. Some shows got canceled. It was all fine, and then all of a sudden, it just was like, oh, this is actually gonna last a long time, and they started shutting down absolutely everything. To be honest with you, I was actually okay with it, and it was for this reason. Probably, what are we in 2021 now? Correct. So it was.
I know it's hard to.
I know. I'm like,
what year is it? What day is it? I mean,
it was crazy. So so go back to 2019. The end of 2019. I'm feeling some things in my throat. Like I'm not singing that great, but it was a really, really busy year. And so I just thought, hey, my vocal cords are just tired. I just need to rest it. So December came, we did a Christmas show, all good. I'm like, okay, I'm going to shut it down. So I shut it down. There was a Valentine's Day show that I had to do in, where the heck was it? Calgary. And I'm trying to warm up, all through that time. And the voice just isn't feeling right. And I get to Calgary and I do the show, but I was so disappointed in the way that I performed because it was so raspy. I had no falsetto. It was just like gone.
Yeah.
And so that's when I knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
So I phoned up the doctor and I said, I need to come in. I need you guys to scope my throat. They ended up scoping it, and I ended up having a polyp on my vocal cord.
Yeah.
Which is normal for
singers and announcers, and that's what Julie Andrews had that.
Yeah. So it happens. Now sometimes I've had something like this before, and my wonderful doctor, Dr. Anderson, was able to basically. Some people might cringe with this, but basically stick the tube, all the way through so that they can see what they're doing. Take a needle and shoot my vocal cord with a steroid.
And you're awake for all of that?
You're awake.
There's no numbing or...
They numb it. They give you a tiny shot just to numb it a bit, but you're basically like, you have to stand very, very still. You can't move, can't cough, nothing. And the needle goes in right into there. You feel it go. You feel your vocal cord.
You reached high notes you never knew you could reach when he did that, right?
Well, you know what? You can't even do that. It was just more of one of those things. And once it's done, you actually can't even speak because your vocal cord is so filled with fluid at that moment that it's actually swollen. So you can't actually speak. It goes down pretty quickly, and then you can get back to talking. But what it does is it softens the vocal cord. And so what you have is like this little polyp that does this on your vocal cord. And what it does is it allows, with a lot of like doing scales and whatnot, it allows you to stretch out your vocal cords so that it goes flat again. And so that's the procedure. That's what you hope to do. Now, if the polyp is too big, there's nothing they can do about it. You know what I mean? They can't like shoot it with a steroid, nothing. You just have to go in and get it cut off.
So yours wasn't too big at that point?
Mine was too big at that point.
It was too big.
At that point in 2020, when they checked it, they're like, we're going to have to like go in and do surgery on it. And so this was literally, I think it was like the end of February, and I think it was about middle of February. And I said, can you please get me in as quick as possible? Because I was expecting to do my summer show that summer. And so I was like, I need to get back. And generally speaking, it's about a 6 to 12 month recovery time for this type of surgery.
And your voice is your instrument. Yeah.
That's it. Right. And I also had to record an album as well. Ooh. So I ended up getting in, I think it was March 7th, and literally pretty much 2 days later, they shut down all non-essential surgeries, like 2 days later. So I got in just in the nick of time, huh? Just in the nick of time. And then everything just shut down. They started canceling shows and the whole nine. So it was actually perfect for me, because I didn't have to worry anymore about missing shows or missing out on anything, because everything was shut down anyway. And I was just able to focus on just healing. It's 2 weeks of no talking, and then you slowly get back to singing, slowly you build up. And by the time June rolled around, I was ready to get back into the studio. It might have been a little bit early, but I had to get this record done. And so I was very careful when I went in there, and we were very careful with the way that we recorded and made sure that I wasn't doing too much, didn't spend really, really long days, and ended up, getting the whole entire album done. And during that time, I was also doing a lot of corporate stuff virtually, doing a lot of this. Getting my band, they would film themselves, I would film myself here in this room, and we put it together as a little package, and we'd send it off to whoever it was, whether Shoppers Drug Mart or whichever company wanted something from me. So it wasn't too bad on that end. It actually worked out in my favor, but the not being out amongst the people, and I'm very much a people person. I love being out and talking to people, and like that's the guy that I am. Really started to take its toll on me. Like honestly, like I started sinking into. I felt
depression,
myself in depression, 100%. Yeah. Like
a lot of people have, the lack of contact and feeding off the energy of others and then giving it back, and that whole communal. I'm very communal too, like you are, and when it's not happening, you can rev yourself up, but only for so long, and you're like, well, okay, this is good. I love my mirror, but I want others involved.
Well, and it's also like, for the last 5 years, I've been like working a lot, like all the time doing shows, always out, and to just have that abruptly just stop. It was kind of, after a while, you start thinking to yourself like, well, who am I? Who am I if I'm not performing, if I'm not out there? Like it really starts messing with your head. You're kind of like, I don't know who I am exactly anymore, because I can't actually do the things that I want to be doing. So it started to play with my head for sure. But
did you clean a lot of closets, bake a lot of bread during the time too, like a lot of people?
Dude, I went into I love baking. Let me just tell you, I love baking, and I work out so that I can bake and eat it. That's the only reason why I work out these days. I'm telling you right now.
Just to balance the baking and the carbs.
So I mean, I baked bread. I started getting into soups. Which I never used. I never liked soups before, but I got a great butternut squash recipe. And
I'm coming up to Hamilton, Ontario. I love
man, it was really, really good. We did a carrot one. I did a sweet potato, but I think
I love all those.
The butternut squash was my favorite for sure.
We got a foodie crowd that watches this show too, so I think you're tickling their fancy a little bit.
Perfect.
So you got a chance to spend more quality time with the family as well during this all?
Yeah, you know what? It has truly been a blessing. I have a 4-year-old. She'll be 4 in October. Funny enough, her birthday is one day after mine on the 24th. So she was my birthday present for real.
Oh, sure.
Little Savannah. She's absolutely gorgeous and just a joy. But like I would never have gotten to spend the kind of time that I did with her had this not happened at all. Like I just would have been too busy. She probably would have been with my parents because they love to have her. But unfortunately, with COVID, we couldn't even go over there and talk to them. It was really, really tough. Spend a lot of time with her. But I'm in a large family. My wife has 4 kids from a previous relationship. So there's me, there's her, there's the 4 kids plus Savannah, and we have 2 dogs. So there's a lot
of activity and energy.
Absolutely. And, for me, I like, and I think everybody does at some point, I enjoy some alone time.
Yes.
Alone time. And there has just been none of that. Everyone, now that things are opening back up a tiny bit, it's a little different. But like even this room, which we put an extension on the house, and it was great. And I built this music room for myself. So I finally have a place. And, my wife takes it every day because she needs some place to work because she's still working. And so she takes the room and I'm like upstairs. And I remember, at being at the dinner table with my laptop and my headphones, and I'm trying to like do some music with the dogs running around my feet, and Savannah's tugging at me. It's just like, oh man, I just need some time. I just want some time alone. Anyways, it's all good.
But it's all good. It all works out in the end, right?
It does. It does. I do love everyone, but like I said, everybody needs a little bit of alone time just to chill out, man.
I like it too. Yeah. Cause you and I are in these industries where, we're in the public eye a lot with all the different, pun intended, hats we wear.
Yeah.
And it's you need that balance, right? Like you say, you're a Libra, so you definitely need the balance of the energy and the excitement to fill your soul, and as you're filling everybody else's heart and soul. And then you need to step back, breathe, reboot, refresh, sort of reflect on it, and then come back out of the gate ready to go again, which is really, really cool. Even Alessandra in North Carolina, USA agrees. She says, alone time is nice time to relax. Absolutely. Jen Barry's watching in Allentown, Pennsylvania. She says, hi, Jim and Sean. Good to see you, Jen, as well. How did you first get started? What, for you, what were some of those early inspirations growing up in your family there in Canada that spurred on this thirst and this energy to want to be a performer, a singer, songwriter, and entertainer, Sean?
Yeah, you know what, it was a little bit strange path that I took. I was born in Etobicoke, which is just outside of Toronto proper, and then when I think I was probably around 1 or 2, my parents and my sister and I, we moved to Montreal actually, and we were there. And my dad used to work for a company called Bell Canada, and a telephone company up here, and they offered him a job in Saudi Arabia because they were setting up different programs over there and stuff, and they wanted him to be a manager over there and do stuff. And so he accepted it and took the entire family over there. And I was like 5.5 when we left. And so do
you remember any of it?
Yeah. I remember, because we were there for 5.5 years.
Yeah.
So they were very formative years of my life. We lived on a Canadian compound out in the middle of the desert in Riyadh, but we had like everything that you could possibly want as a kid was on this compound. You had recreation centers, huge soccer fields, baseball diamonds, pools, Olympic-sized swimming pools, and everything was free. Everything was free. Like it was absolutely amazing. And at the time, as a kid, you don't really recognize that. You're just like, I'm here. Yeah, this is what. It's not until you get back to Canada where all of a sudden it's just like, oh man. And you can walk everywhere too in the compound. Like you can take your bike and just ride from one end to the other. You meet friends. And then all of a sudden you get back to Canada and it's kind of like, oh boy, I got to take a bus and I got to pay. And oh man, it was a completely different experience. And one of the biggest things for me was, being on the compound. There was maybe around 3 or 4 other Black families, maybe. But everybody, it was definitely like a melting pot. Like you went to school. It was an international school that we went to called Cesar. And it was great. And then I came back here at the age of 11, and I found that everybody was in their own little cliques. And, if you liked rap music, you were over here.
You're over there.
And if you liked rock music, you were over here. And you know what I mean? And all the really smart kids or whatever hung out over here. And it was just kind of like, here I am. I was actually a BMXer, a skateboarder. I listened to Guns N' Roses. I also listened to Levert and some other stuff that my sister had sent back to me, because school there only goes up to grade 8. And then at grade 9, you actually have to come back to Canada. So my parents sent her back to a boarding school here in Canada, Bishop Strong, to finish out her education. And she would send me back all kinds of R&B stuff and hip hop stuff. But over there, I was also getting, like Duran Duran and Depeche Mode and all this stuff. So I came back here to Canada and I was just lost. Because I didn't belong anywhere, unfortunately, in terms of these groups. Not to mention the education you get there is actually ahead of what's here in Canada. So I came back to Canada and I was sitting in class doing this because I had finished my work. And the teachers are like, whoa, okay. So then they tested me as a gifted student. gifted student. So that put me into a whole other place. All of a sudden, I'm this gifted student. People are looking at me like I'm some sort of nerd or something. And I'm just, it was a perfect storm. It honestly was. What saved me was the fact that I was very athletic. And so I was able to, gain friends through the sports activities that I did, whether it was I was very good at baseball. I was tall. So at the time, I mean, I'm 6'2", but back then I was like very close to 6 feet tall. So basketball was a major thing, soccer. And so I was able to gain a lot of friends from that. That's kind of what saved me. And in terms of music, I always liked music. I loved dancing. One of my parents' favorite memories is of me at my cousin's wedding. And I think I must have been maybe 7, 8, something like that. And some song was on and I'm in the middle of this circle of like adults. And I'm just like, just picture the crazy little kid that has no idea what he's doing, but his legs are going everywhere, his hands and everything and dancing. And I'm thinking I'm doing amazing stuff and everyone is just clapping along. And that's like one of their favorite memories of me. But I loved that. Like I loved performing and getting that attention. But singing was never a big thing for me, to be honest with you. I used to sing around the house. I know my parents used to think that they would say, "Oh, you got a nice voice." And I love the music that they would play. Both of my parents are Jamaican. So there was a lot of reggae, a lot of Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and all these other artists that was definitely playing. But there was also, the Motown classics. There was the Marvin Gayes and the Al Greens and the Temptations and Diana Ross. And yeah, so I got all of that and I loved all of it. And I got to 8th grade. Somebody asked me to like be in a group and I just did it just because whatever, it was like 3 of us. It didn't go anywhere and it wasn't anything serious. It wasn't until 9th grade that everything changed. I was in 9th grade French class and I was a very shy young man. I wanted attention from the ladies and I had no idea how to get it. Nothing. I was so shy. And my French teacher, Miss Priolo, said, I guess I was humming in class, and the girl behind me said, and I think it was Anita Hines, she said, "Miss Priolo, Sean can sing." And Miss Priolo said, "Oh, Sean, come up to the front of the class and sing." And I have no idea why I did it. Everyone was like, "Yeah, come up to the front of the class." I went up to the front of the class. My knees are shaking, my stomach, I got butterflies, and I started singing. And every girl in that room went like that. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. This is how it happens. Oh my gosh, it's just this easy. Wow. And that's what kicked it off. To be honest with you, I had no intentions of singing at all, but all of a sudden I could get this attention from the ladies and I was like, okay, this is it.
That's cool. What also gets attention? Dogs. And Jane, who's watching in Sweden, one of our regular Love Days, goes, "Show us the dog."
Oh, I'll see if I can. I'll pull up let me see if I can pull up a picture while we're talking here.
Yeah.
Because she's very, very cute. Actually,
it's great that you were telling that story because we had a bolt of lightning come through that knocked out the power, the internet, and took us off the show for a split second. My picture probably disappeared when this bolt of lightning came through. And you were telling the story perfectly, and then I just sort of popped right back on. And you were still sharing it with us, which I think was awesome.
Oh, man. Well, I don't know if you can see.
Oh, yeah. Let's take a look.
There we go. Let me see if I can get. Okay, I think that's a good angle right there. The St. Bernard we just got. She's a St. Bernard Bull Terrier cross. Her name is Rosie. She's going to be a big girl. She's only 12 weeks, but she's almost 40 pounds. So She's gonna be huge, and she's not like overweight, nothing. She's like just a big girl. And Maya is a bulldog, Doberman, and lab cross, and we got her June of last year. It was like the pandemic rush. Everybody went out to go get a dog, and so we had actually lost one of our dogs. I think it was about a year, probably about in 2019. I think close to the beginning of 2019, we lost one of our dogs, our Great Dane. And so we finally, got back into it. We were like, okay, let's go grab a dog, and we got Maya, and Maya. We got in Ottawa,
beautiful,
actually, which is 4 hours away.
Yeah.
So I had to drive 4 hours to get her, and then 4 hours back home. So yeah, but they're beautiful. I love dogs. They're just love them.
We have another viewer that's watching, one of our regular lovely viewers. She's watching from South America, from Brazil.
Right now. Nice. I want to come to Brazil.
She'll have you. Hello, Jim and gang, and Sean. Shout out from South America. Glad to enjoy the show. To have you here. And let's see. Oh, yeah, they're loving your dog. So cute. Beautiful girl from Jane in Sweden.
Thank you.
Dogs, and beautiful as well. So that's fantastic. So, I mean, what would you really consider like one of the major opportunities for you that opened up those doors along the way?
Oh my gosh. I mean, the story, I mean, it's a crazy story. I mean, I'll pick up from the 9th grade, because there was a girl in my in school that knew a couple guys that actually had another group. They had a singing group, and they had just a 5-man singing group. They had lost 2 members, and they were looking for a couple guys. And so somehow or the other, it ended up, she talked to them. We ended up meeting one day and basically formed a group called In Essence. And we did a bunch of talent shows, high school talent shows and whatnot. We were very, very well known. We ended up doing a video and all kinds of stuff. But once again, it was never anything serious for me. It was just like another great way to get attention. In my head, I was going to university to do law. That was my plan. This was just kind of like something to do for fun. But we ended up going to New York, actually, for something called the Vibe Music Conference.
Oh, yeah.
Vibe magazine.
Yeah.
I don't know if Vibe is still around anymore, actually.
I think it is.
It might be. This might have been like 1999, like 2000 type thing. And we ended up driving to New York City. It's 5 of us in a car. And we don't have any money. We've put together these packages of like a video. We spent our money going into the studio and whatnot. And we have these packages, and we have no way of getting into the conference, because it's like $500 a ticket, and there's 5 of us.
Wow.
But we go down there, and if I wasn't with those guys, none of this would ever happen. They were hardcore. Like, they were willing to do whatever it took to be successful.
Oh yeah.
And so we got there. We went to the Manhattan Center, and there's there's security there. But we noticed people coming out with lanyards.
Yes.
And so we're like, So we get a couple lanyards like that, and we wait till the security guard's a little bit distracted, and off went like this really quickly. And the security guard didn't even think. He was just like, okay. And we all got in.
Wow. That's fantastic.
I'm not gonna tell kids to break the law, you know what I mean? But man, that ended up working for us. We weren't trying to do any harm. We were just trying to get in. Anyways, we ended up getting in, and we passed our packages around to a couple different people. But then we heard that Funkmaster Flex, who was who I guess is still a major radio DJ on Hot 97 in New York City. We heard that he was doing a DJ competition. And so we grabbed our stuff. We went outside of some theater somewhere, because this was all happening at a theater, and we put a boombox down. And I know your listeners will know what a boombox is, because many young kids don't know what the hell that is. But we had our
Some
boombox.
of us still have ours.
Exactly. I have one at my parents' house. Trust me. So we put the boombox down and we started playing our music. And there's a crowd. Like, there's a huge crowd around. Nobody knows who the heck we are. Some guy comes up to us and he's like, "Who's this?" And we're like, "That's us. That's us." And he's like, "Okay." So then we see a big crowd coming, and Flex is walking with his entourage. And we grab a package. Someone grabs a package and manages to get through the crowd and hands the package to Flex. He takes it. Little did we know that when he got inside, he just went like this, yeah, and he handed it back to that guy who came up to us in the street and was like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
So he took that guy, Paul Knotts, ended up taking the package home, looked at the video, looked at everything, and ended up calling us the next day and was like, "Listen, Flex has this massive club night at the Tunnel, downtown Manhattan. We want you all to come."
Yeah.
And so all of us went and we met Flex and we spoke for a while. And then the next day they invited us. That was Sunday. The next day they invited us to their office on the Monday. And basically Funk Master Flex and Paul Knott started managing us that day. So it was like, wow, this is incredible.
Yes.
So then they give us some music and we go home. And at that time, R&B music was just, being written over R&B melodies and choruses and whatnot. But because the Funk Master Flex was so much into hip hop, they actually ended up giving us hip hop beats, songs that were already out, but just like instrumentals. And we ended up writing over top of those. We were the first ones to really ever do it. And we ended up writing a song called "You Will Never Find." And it is a anthem to this day in New York City, because it starts out, "I was at 233rd and White Plains. Me and my boy, we was riding the train. I saw you." And anybody that's around my age that went to a club in New York City has heard that song.
Yeah.
In fact, it was just Joe Budden. I think it was Joe Budden that literally just did an interview and was singing the song.
Yeah.
Like literally just a couple days ago. And this was back in 1999, 2000. So, it was a massive hit, but nobody knew who we were, right?
It's incredible.
So it was great. Like I remember us driving in New York City, and the song premieres in the middle of it's rush hour traffic. It's like the high point of the day, and the song comes on, and we're hanging our heads out of the vehicle, driving down in Manhattan, like, "That's us!
That's us! That's us!"
Yeah, man, it was a surreal moment. We thought, hey, we're on the road, man. Like this can't go wrong.
Yeah. Right.
We've got the number one radio guy, right, managing us. We've got this hot record. What could possibly go wrong? Well, Paul Knotts used Funk Master Flex's influence to grab a whole bunch of basically made a bunch of calls to set up a showcase for In Essence with every major label that there possibly was. And I'm not talking about just some little executives. I'm talking presidents.
You're talking
guys with
big guns,
the big guns that have contracts in their briefcase that can just be like, "Okay, we want you to sign right here. How much do you need?" Like that kind of thing. And so he set this up, and we went down there for about a week before. We did a couple shows. We felt good. We thought everything was good, and we got to that showcase, and we bombed. We bombed.
What do you think happened? Was there fear or?
I you know what? We just I as a collective, we were just a little bit too confident in thinking that we had it all. You know what I mean? Like, we were just overconfident. We just thought the little mistakes that we made, nobody would notice them after a while. And, hitting this note, don't worry about it. As long as it's good, we should be fine. But no, you need to be amazing. You need to be excellent. That's the way that these things happen. And we weren't. We just weren't. And so every single person left there, every executive left there and said nothing. Nothing. So what do you do as a manager when you've just shot your shot? Like you've
that was the big
there's nobody else to call in. You know what I mean? It's not like they can call another no, every label was there and we bombed. So we went back to Canada. We were a little bit defeated, but we still had this record. And it just so happened that there was a hip hop group here in Canada called Ghetto Concept, and they were doing a song, and they needed a singer on it. And so they ended up calling us, and we ended up doing the singing on this song. A little bit later, now they were signed to BMG, and so they ended up doing a video for it, and they wanted us to be in the video. So we're like, okay, great. At the video shoot, the president and vice president of BMG are there. And then we ended up having a little conversation, and we performed for them in an alleyway. Literally, like we just busted out into 5-part harmony, and this time we killed it.
Yeah.
This time we didn't make any mistakes. And literally the next day, they called us into the BMG office and basically offered us a licensing deal for our first record, for our first album. Yeah, man.
So cool.
So it was like, we had learned our lesson, and that's how that went. So we put out, we built this record called The Master Plan. We put it out in 2003, and in 2004 we won a Juno, which is equivalent to your Grammys.
Sure.
For best R&B album, and we were flying on top of the world. We were okay. We're back, right? We're like, okay, we messed up before. We're back now. Great. And then BMG merged with Sony Music, and the world grinded to a halt for us, because all of a sudden, when mergers happen, as everybody knows, they start looking at who they need to cut and who they need to keep. And sometimes they're not sure, and so they just kind of put you in limbo, and nothing happens. So for about 2 years, we built this new record. Like, we recorded a new record. We were really excited about it, but we couldn't get any love from them to, like, any direction from them to put it out. They wouldn't release it. And meanwhile, we're 5 guys, like we're still performing old material, but that's getting really old now. We're not making money. We need to release this new record in order to keep our careers going. And they're just kind of like, and we tried everything, Jim. I mean, we invited them to a special, like, little showcase, like the president and the vice, like, we invited them to this showcase where we, like, perform new songs from the album. We had dance routines and dancers, and we were like, this is what you got. This is what we've got. Like, just give us the okay.
Yeah, fireworks. We're giving you it all, right?
We're giving you it all. All you got to do is just release it. And they're like, yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, we just can't make any moves right now. So finally we said, okay, well, if you're not going to keep us, then you need to let us go. And they said, finally, one day they were like, okay, we're letting you go, but we're going to keep your record because we paid.
Merlin says, so winning a Juno didn't help?
It helped for a couple years because we got a bunch of shows and we got the notoriety, and it was amazing for a couple years. However, once BMG and Sony merged, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, you're just changes.
You're just a number. You're a number on their ledger, and if it doesn't make sense to them economically, then they're just like, you're gone. And there were a lot of people that they cut just just absolutely
just phased it out.
They just weren't sure about us because we had won the Juno. So they didn't want to let us go, but at the same time, they didn't have the big okay to like release a new album and give us more money. And so that's where the kind of the conflict happened. And so, you know, eventually we just said, well, let us go if you're not going to do anything with us, thinking that they would let us go and we'd keep this music. However, since they paid for the music, they let us go, but did not give us the music. So all of a sudden,
they kept the music.
We've got no label. We've got no new record. We've got nothing. And we can't fight them because they're a record label and they've got lawyers on retainer and we've got nothing, right? Yeah. For 2 years, we've been sinking. So it was a very, very tough time. It was 5 guys. We'd been together for 12 years. And as most groups do, people have conflicting ideas and thoughts. And, you know, some people thought that they knew what should happen next and who should manage us and this and that. And then there was some ego stuff involved. And it basically, after a little while, it fell apart, unfortunately. And we ended up breaking up in about 2006. And I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do. So I had been writing songs throughout the entire time because I really enjoyed writing. I think it was about 2003 or 4. Prince came to town, and he did this show at this place called Massey Hall, which is really intimate. It's about 2,000 seats, I think, and there's not a bad seat in the house. Right. And my sister and I got tickets, and he put on a 3-hour show that I will never ever forget.
Forget that, yeah.
He did this, does this song. Any Prince fans out there? I'm not sure if there are, but he did this song, "Adore," which is like one of my favorite songs of all time. Yeah. And he's at the piano, and it's just him and the spotlight, and he's like, "Until the end of time, Jim."
Yeah.
I'll be there for you. It was unreal. The place went nuts. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And the way he played the guitar, it inspired me to go pick up a guitar and learn it. And funny enough, when I was about 13, I had actually picked up a guitar and started playing a little bit. But then I got into basketball and girls, and that was that. I didn't, you know. Guitar who?
Priorities,
absolutely. But yeah, it inspired me to go pick up a guitar, and like I started writing more music and producing a tiny bit here and there. Thinking that, you know, while I'm not sure if I'm going to do a solo thing, maybe I can get a publishing deal.
Yeah.
But it didn't end up happening. Instead, I actually got a solo record deal with an independent label called Wide Awake. And I ended up putting out a record with them. I listened back on that record and I'm like, man, you know, it was growing. It was, I did not know the things that I know now. I can say that.
Right. That's what happens in life. Yeah. If I knew then what I know now.
Oh boy.
Would have saved a lot of time.
Exactly. It wasn't a great experience.
But you've learned teachable moments. You've learned, which is the key to it all, right?
100%.
And didn't give up. Didn't give in or up.
No. But funny enough, it's interesting because, you know, there was some people there that were definitely trying to break my spirit, destroy my career. Like literally, when I say literally destroy my career, like literally writing in emails like, I'm going to destroy his career. Like it wasn't, I'm not like just being, you know, like, oh, I think that's what happened, what they were trying to do. No, that's exactly what they were trying to do. But I made it through. And after that, I was like, I can do anything. You know, no one is going to stop me. The only person who's going to tell me to stop is the big man upstairs, or the universe, or whoever you want to say is running things. But no one on this earth is going to tell me when to stop or get me to stop. I'm meant to be doing this. I am meant to be giving some joy and spreading love and doing all of that. Like I'm truly meant to be doing this. And so I'm just going to continue until I can't anymore. And
absolutely.
One of the biggest lessons I learned was at the end of that journey with that record label, they basically offered me another contract. But my career wasn't going anywhere, but it was money. It was like a nice stipend every single month, a nice advance that they were giving me every single month. And I literally didn't know what I was going to do. You know, like I had a house. I had a mortgage. I had, you know what I mean? All of a sudden you've got bills and it's just like, well, where am I going to get this money from? Right. And I just, one day I was just like, you know what? It's going to work out. It's bad for my soul. Emotionally, for my soul, I cannot sell my soul anymore. And I turned away from the money. I just said, no. I ripped up the contract. I was like, I'm done. Thank you very much for everything you've done for me. See you later. Not knowing how anything else was going to work out. And it just so happened that I ran into the old president of BMG one day. We and her had a coffee. And she asked me, what are you doing? And I said, you know, I'm with this label and blah, 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 blah. It's not working out. And she was like, well, what kind of music are you doing? And I said, well, you know, I'm like doing this acoustic, like R&B type, hybrid type thing. I'm trying some different stuff. She's like, have you ever thought about going back to R&B? And I said, well, to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of like the way R&B is right now. If I'm going to do R&B, I'd want to do something that's a little more classy, I guess. You know, I want to like dress up. I want to do like a Marvin Gaye type thing. You know what I mean? And she's
sort of
like,
the old school. Yeah.
Very much. And she's like, oh, well then I might have an idea for you. I know this guy, Jeffrey Latimer, and he manages the Canadian Tenors. At the time, they were called the Canadian Tenors.
Oh, yeah, the Tenors, yeah. I interviewed them on PBS, Victor and all of them.
Absolutely, yep. And she's like, they do all of that stuff. They do the theater stuff, and you would probably fit in like really nicely there. I can introduce you. And so this is how you know things are just meant to be. Jeffrey was working with another artist who he wanted to do the Marvin Gaye type feel type thing. That artist actually didn't want to do that. They wanted to do more of an Usher, Drake, Chris Brown type thing. Yeah. And so they had set up this tour across the United States. It was a 40-date tour across the United States. And it was already set up. And he didn't want to do it. And at the same moment that he didn't want to do it, she introduces me to Jeffrey. And all of a sudden he's like, oh. So I did one show basically because they just wanted to see me perform. So they said, can you do this show for us? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Sure. So I ended up doing this corporate, and they watched and they were like, okay. And I ended up taking that 40-date tour that was already set up. And it was just... It was just the way it was.
That was a gift handed right to you, right time, right place, more than ready. Let's go.
It was crazy. I was just like, wow, things, you know what I mean? Like if I hadn't said no to that money, I would have never been in this position. Not to mention that, but like, you know, that was supposed to be set up for later that year in November. But basically, as soon as I got with Jeffrey, all of a sudden the Tenors were doing a show with Sarah McLachlan in Calgary, and they needed someone to open. And so I ended up opening for the Tenors and Sarah McLachlan and singing Hallelujah with Sarah McLachlan and the Tenors on stage. Like it was, you couldn't
pinch me moment, pinch me. You couldn't have scripted
more.
That. No. Sarah is wonderful. She's a wonderful talent. I had the pleasure of introducing her on stage at Carnegie Hall when I was Master of Ceremonies for Christmas concerts that composer Tim Janis puts together. She's just fantastic. Must have been really, you know, working with all of them together. You must have been like, wow, what planet am I on? Is this real? But
yeah, it was.
The thing is, Sean, they thought you were worthy of that they thought that, you know, your talent is equivalent and that you're there and your time is now. So, bravo to you. I mean, you're working with these other great talents, but they figured he's ready, bring him in. So that's a kudos to you for a lot of hard work and not giving in or giving up.
Yeah, no. It was really, really amazing. And the tenors have always been unbelievably gracious to me. And Sarah, I've had the pleasure of interviewing Sarah for something called, she's amazing. So I had to interview her for something called the WestJet Boarding Sessions, which is the last record I did for WestJet, the airline that's up here in Canada. And I had to basically WestJet wanted us to curate the music that plays on the plane. So if you ever take a WestJet flight, in Jones and the Righteous Echo playing all of that music, and they wanted That's 5 of my original songs. Yeah, man, they wanted 5 of my original songs, but they also wanted 5 iconic covers, like Canadian covers. And one of them was, and so I suggested Angel. Sarah McLachlan's Angel. And, they were like at first, oh, that's Sean, it's a flight and it's a slow
in the arms of an angel. Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And they're like, it's a slow song. We're looking for something a little bit more upbeat. And I was like, no, you got to hear the way that I have it envisioned in my head. I was like, it will be upbeat. It'll be a different version, but I'm telling you, it'll still be beautiful. It'll just have a different vibe to it. And so we did it. And I encourage anyone that's on here to please to check it out if you have a chance, because I really enjoy that version. I mean, nothing beats the original. Obviously, you can't beat that. But it's a beautiful, beautiful, uplifting version of that song. So check it out. So it was very cool. And I had to I was like, Sarah, can I cover this too? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I had mentioned in the beginning this, you were performing at this venue in Canada and Seoul in the city, outdoors, summer concerts. We actually have some video of you doing that. Tell us a little bit about that. What a cool opportunity, huh?
Yeah, it was 2015, and once again, my manager, Jeffrey Latimer, spoke with Nick DiDonato, who runs this castle in Toronto called Casa Loma, and it's a very historic castle with a very sad story, actually. It was actually a home. It's not even like a castle. It looks like a castle, but it was actually somebody's home, and he actually never even got to live in it with his wife, who we actually built it for, because he ended up, going bankrupt and then dying. It's actually a sad story.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful, beautiful place with a massive, beautiful gardens. And Nick, who runs it, wanted to do something special on different nights. He had a night called Symphony in the Gardens, where he brought in this orchestra in the gardens. And basically they played and people sat and listened to beautiful symphony music. And he's got this beautiful glass pavilion that's in the gardens as well. So there's the glass pavilion, which holds 300, 400, 500 people. And then there's the rest of the gardens, which holds a hell of a lot more, and the terrace. Yeah. And so he wanted to do something a little different. And so he's like, Sean, do you think you can do something on a Monday night? And you maybe have some special guests, whatnot. And I was like, oh, okay. I wrapped my head around it. I was like, yeah, this could be cool. And so it started out with me, and I think it was about 6 or 7 pieces of my band that were out at the very first night. And it was about 150 people that showed up. You invite friends and family and anybody, and please come out, please. And I tell you, Jim, by the time our last run of shows in, I guess it was 2019, we were up to 1,000 people, over 1,000 people every night.
Wow, that's cool.
Place is just packed, and just the vibe is so beautiful, and I got a 9-piece band now that plays behind me. I do originals, I do covers, and then I invite people to come up on stage. I have guest artists, a lot of Canadian up and coming guest artists, some very established guest artists. Alan Frew from Glass Tiger, and oh my goodness, I'm losing track. But funny enough, Macy Gray was in town for Jazz Festival, and one of her bandmates actually knew someone in our band and was like, "Oh, we're looking for a place to go tonight." So they ended up coming down, and they were there. And then I think it was an intermission. And I get like, "So is it okay if Macy comes up and does a song or something?" And I was like, yeah.
Let me see. I think yes. Absolutely.
Let me think about this. Yeah. Anyway, she came up and she did like her rendition of A Wonderful World.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Wow. Actually, I think she did 2 songs. I think she did her like big hit. Oh my gosh, I can't remember it right now. And then she did like A Wonderful World, her rendition, and it was just unbelievable. Eric Benet showed up and came on, and it's funny because these folks, they come and they're not sure, like, you know what I mean. They come up and they're just like, "Let me watch for a while.
Let's see what this is about.
Let me see what this is about." And then all of a sudden it's like, "Hey, can I get up on that stage?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, of course." So yeah, it's turned into something really, really special, and I think there's 2 things that I love about it. The first thing is that I get to bring on stage and share the stage with a bunch of different artists, and not just like there's some very established artists that are doing their thing, they're touring, but there's a lot of young and up and coming artists that just would never have gotten the chance to get in front of 1,000 people on a stage like that with a 9-piece band. You know what I mean? And do their own music. It just, especially in Toronto, with music venues disappearing on almost a daily basis. It's a sad state of affairs. I don't know what it's like, in New York City, but like in Toronto, the places where live music happens are like few and far between.
Why do you think that is? So, is it virtual or funding, or
it's a lot
generational, or
I don't know. There's a lot of places that just don't value, live music the way that they used to,
and they used to,
for it, right? And it's easier to just put on a Spotify playlist, But there is a crowd that wants that is yearning for live music. But unfortunately, there's just only a couple places where that can happen, and Casa Loma happens to be one of those places. So I'm really proud of the fact that I get to do that and be like, "Hey, come on and share my stage." I love that.
Well, let's take a look at that video, Soul in the City, as you're doing your thing. It's a really cool video, folks. And then we have another one, and Sean's actually going to perform live for us too. So good to have you with us, everybody. I'm your host, Jim Masters. Jim Masters Show live worldwide. Sean Jones is our guest. Time for a little Soul in the City. Really nice.
That was from our first year. Yeah.
You mentioned some of these things as far as never giving up and keep moving forward and creating and connecting and doing the thing that you do so well and love so much, and all of its iterations and morphing and tweaking, which is what we all do in our lives. We all tweak, we grow, we change things up a bit. And one of the things that helps get you through, love will. How do you like that for an intro? You know what I'm leading to, right? We have that video. Tell us about that. And it's so true. Love will get you through.
You know what? I wrote, who did I write this tune with? I think I wrote it with Murray. And it was one of the last songs on this new and upcoming record that actually that we put together. And the whole record, this whole new record, is like a 90s R&B concept type album. But I used to listen to house music as well, and so we got this love vibe, this vibe, house vibe for this song, and the song is kind of it just talks about relationships, because they're so unpredictable, like really, really, really unpredictable, man. Like you never know, and you listen to the lyrics, it's like a flower. You just never know, is it gonna grow or is it gonna wilt, and you know what I mean? You'll have to plant something else. Like sometimes you just really don't know, but you hope. Your hope is that love will somehow find a way to survive, and you guys will figure it out. And so it's along those lines. But
I wanted to show you with the song with the Soul in the City, that little clip there. Claps coming in from New York City from Kathleen Walker. Carla watching in South America. Brazil says, wow. Merlin, the neighbor there in Canada. Awesome, Sean. And Jen Barry says, jamming on the tambourine. Wow, while she was listening to that. Sherry Larson says, wonderful voice. Mary Bishop says, wonderful. Alessandra, North Carolina, USA, beautiful. More coming in here live. Kathy, you've won over the hearts in Cleveland, Sean. I like it. Austin Field says, very cool song. Maureen in Arizona, USA. Wow, that was fantastic. Cool stuff. And that's
awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, the Loveities.
If you're ever in Toronto, we may actually, there was no hope to have this show happen this year, like at first, but there is a possibility that we may end up doing it like the middle of July all the way through to maybe September, possibly, but I'm not sure. So
fingers crossed. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I don't think our borders are open, unfortunately, but for my Canadian folks that are here, Casa Loma will be waiting for you should this we manage to get it up and running. So
Toronto is one city I have yet to get to, so I will ring you up when I get there.
Please, dude. There's so much. Oh
there's
my goodness.
A lot. I know. There's absolutely a lot. All right. So here's Sean Jones doing Love Will, and he's also going to perform live for us. And thanks for all the great comments. And again, if you missed any of this episode, you can see the whole thing on its YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And share the links. Of course, subscribe to the channel. We would love that. Click the notification bell. And here is Love Will.
Time to let go, too late or too soon. But then there's moments in the moment, times when you share something so rare, yeah. That's when you just have to face it. Nothing else can replicate it. No one else can compare. And I said, ooh, I know we've had doubts. I know we've had doubts lately. Let me tell you now, let me tell you just how I feel. Ooh, if you cut my heart wide open, all this love could fill an ocean. Meant to be, there's nothing sweeter. Your heart set you free, but you begin to wonder as you're slowly slipping under. Am I drowning peacefully? Ooh, then you get that funny feeling pulling you back from the brink. Some things just won't make sense, so let down your defense. else lately. Let me tell you now, let me tell you just how I feel. Ooh, if you cut my heart wide open, all this love could fill an ocean. Meant to be, there's nothing sweeter. I keep praying love will keep us together.
No.
Wow. Wow. Holy cow. That is amazing. That is
thank you, man.
cool. That is really, your voice really is incredible, Sean. Really is. I just want to show you some. That's my view, but as you know, your host here, but listen to what the public at large is saying too. Our Lovities here on the Jim Master Show Live. Great video, great song, fantastic singer, Mary Bishop in Florida, USA, and Kathy Short in Cleveland, a great dance tune. Merlin, I love the beat in your music. Beautiful video. Kathleen in New York City, great voice, cool video. Very relaxing song. Alessandra in North Carolina, USA. Hearts from Sherry Larson. Maureen in Arizona with a beautiful video. Jane in Sweden is loving it. Clap, clap, clap.
Sweden.
You got Carla in Brazil dancing in her kitchen. Catchy and cool song. Love it. Jen Barry says, Jim, I love Sean as himself. Please have him back. Such a great guy. He's a lovity. Alessandra says, you should come to the United States. We'd love to have you. And I second that emotion. I second that emotion. Good stuff. Thanks, gang, for coming in with these comments.
Thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that really is. It makes you. I can still hear it too, and I think that's a test of a great song. I still hear the melody and everything continuing. Yeah, I think so. That's really new, right? That's fresh.
Yeah, that's one of my. I released that tune in October.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So there's so much on this album that I'm so proud of and excited. I haven't made an R&B album since we did that 2005 record that actually never ended up coming out. I've actually just been dabbling in, acoustic kind of soul, and then doing more like a Motown Revival type stuff, adult contemporary. This is my kind of like first time back into that 90s R&B vibe that I love, which I think is like inspired me as a musician at the time, because there was just so much out there that I fell in love with. So this record is chock full of tunes that I'm really, really excited. And like you said, I love melodies. I love melodies. I love catchy like tunes. And I love lyrics. Yeah. I love lyrics, even though they might be simple, they speak to something. And I like to speak about women and relationships in a positive, beautiful way. And so, I hope everyone gets that from the records that I'll be releasing, and the album that will ultimately come out in October. But I'm very, very excited.
And so, folks, as they look for it, give us the title of it again.
The album is going to be called Weekend Lover.
Nice. Very nice.
The Love Will was the first single that came out. She is the second single that's already released. I think it came out in like April or something. And Weekend Lover, the actual single, comes out on July 30th. And so and it's a jam. It's like a roller skating type. It's man.
There's no way you're not gonna move. Yeah.
Trust me.
That is cool. You wanted to treat us to a couple of things too, right? You had some songs you wanted to play for us, my friend.
Yeah, I can definitely see what happens here. I'm trying to. I don't know how it is in the United States or around the world, since you've got people all around the place. But like the allergy season here has been horrific. Like,
it's been tough this year. It's crazy, isn't it?
I have no idea what is going on. Maybe somebody can explain it. But it's like, man, like I've got seasonal allergies, but by now I'm good. Like you know what I mean? Like everything's fine. But I'm still suffering. Like this is nuts. It's crazy, man. I'm just like, anyways, I'll sing some tunes for sure because I love to sing, but just letting you all know.
Love well.
I'm trying to like get through this, right? So, and this will be the first time that I'm actually performing any of these songs. So if I forget some lyrics, apologize. I have never done these live before.
Wow.
So this is actually
a world premiere exclusive. We have a graphic for that. on the Jim Master Show Live, the world premiere exclusive. Cool.
So
that is cool. What's the first one you want to share, my friend?
The first one is called, let's see, Drink. There's two here. Let me see if I can pull this up just so that we're good to go. Oh no!
It's a whole new world where you have to do everything yourself.
I'm telling you, man. But it's all good. It's totally fine.
It's all part of it.
But yeah, it's called Drink, and hopefully you enjoy it. Let me know what you think.
Absolutely.
Here we go.
All right, Sean Jones live.
This is how we're gonna do it. Girl, it's up for you to choose. I can treat you like a queen, baby. Wanna make all your dreams come true. Fly us to Paris or to London, just to sweep you off your feet. Baby, that's only the beginning. Buy you a Rari and diamond ring. Or we could have a drink, drink, drink. Let our bodies get sing, sing, sing. If you want it, you got it. Tell me, girl, I'll give you everything you want. Do anything to turn you on. If you want it, you got it, baby. Be my queen, I'll build a castle, and baby, you can wear the crown. There ain't nothing that you can't ask for, 'cause I know some way, somehow, girl, I'll make your wishes true. While all your girls will wish that they were you. You ask, I'll get it. Magic carpet, don't sweat it. We can fly away, or we could have another drink, drink, drink. Let our bodies get sing, sing, sing. If you want it, you got it. Tell me, girl, I'll give you everything you want. Do anything to turn you on. If you want it, you got it, baby. You're anything but ordinary, the way you make me feel. And you deserve to own the sun and moon. All the riches in the world won't bring happiness to me. If you're not here by my side, I won't be complete. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So girl, I'll make your wishes true. While all your girls will wish that they were you. You ask, I'll get it. Magic carpet, don't sweat it. We can fly away, or we could have another drink, drink, drink. Let our bodies get sing, sing, sing. If you want it, you got it. Tell me, girl, I'll give you everything you want. Do anything to turn you on. If you want it, yeah. You got it, baby, yeah. Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that. That was
awesome. Now I gotta find the stupid thing. There we go. Sorry, that's another record from the album.
That's another. Kathleen in New York City, she got her dancing. Awesome. Love it. And Merlin in Canada right there. Another song that will be in my mind all night, which is awesome. Jen Barry in Allentown, PA, Pennsylvania. I'm dancing in me living room. Sing it, Sean. Love. Maureen in Arizona. What a gift you have. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Carla in South America and beautiful Brazil. Claps, and all kinds of emojis here. She's dancing in Brazil. And look at all this. All kinds of hearts and claps from Jane in Sweden. And Alessandra says, keep doing you. We love it. And she's still tapping her feet.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Oh, man.
Great romantic music.
For you folks live. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Excellent, Sean from Marion, Florida. And good romance music, according to Alessandra. You got another song for us too, right, my friend?
Yes.
And you did well, considering the allergies and everything. You're not out of the park. It was great.
I'm trying my best, man. I'm trying my best. Listen,
when you got it going.
Thank you. When I finally get a chance to come out and perform with my band, it's a complete
it's a whole other.
It's a whole other level, man. Yeah. I'm telling you. So I'm really.
So this
really
is more of a little intimate version of it all, right?
Listen, this is the first listen for you folks, and my first time performing it, and I'm getting a chance to hear firsthand what you folks think of it. So thank you so much for listening.
And thank you for sharing it here on our show, the Jim Master Show Live. We're honored and appreciate that, my friend.
Thank you. So this next song is the single that I released just previously in April, and it's definitely one of my favorites on the record. It's another romantic song, just talking about the most perfect partner in the entire world, and maybe you not just being worthy of that perfection. And so that's what this tune is. It's called She Is, and I hope you enjoy.
All right.
Hopefully I don't mess up the words on this one.
You're on a roll.
Hey,
here's Sean Jones live on Jim Master Show Live.
oh yeah. Pajama bottoms, tank top, no makeup, yeah, she is. And I wonder what it is I did to wake up next to beauty like this. Like a picture in the frame, my Mona Lisa has a name. 'Cause now I know love, smooth as butter, her complexion, her lips are now my obsession. Her eyes, they called into question if I stumble upon heaven. Her desire made a claim, nothing will ever be the same. 'Cause now I know love, ooh, she is the fire inside of me. She is the reason my heart beats. She is perfection endlessly. Ooh, she is love. If I'm true in my confession, I get lost in her attention. Feels so good I start to question if I deserve her affection. I surrender unafraid as I ascend into her flame. 'Cause now I know love, ooh, she is the fire inside of me. She is the reason my heart beats. She is perfection endlessly. Ooh, she is love. It's funny how I was living life without ever knowing the other side. You came along and you changed my world, and you showed me how sweet it could be. Yes. She's the fire inside of me. She's the reason my heart beats. Yeah, yeah. She's perfection. Oh. Ooh, she is love. She is love. She is love. Woo! She's the reason. Baby. Just goes on and on and on and on and on. Ooh, she is love. Oh. Ooh, she is love.
Wow, that's incredible. That really is a fantastic song, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
my
I
God.
really love that one. I
Yeah.
love that one.
You put so much heart and soul into it all, and just want to show you some of the live reactions we're getting here. And as they always say on the Jim Master Show Live, every show is something different, unique, and special. And every night we do something different, and great guests and more inspiring conversation. Mary Bishop, beautiful song sung with a beautiful voice. And Merlin said, and you've earned that glass. Merlin, singing for his supper tonight with allergies and all, and he's knocking it out of the park. Merlin in Canada says, I love your version of R&B music.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So the aim that you have is making its mark, my friend. Jane in Sweden is still with us, which is amazing, Jane, because it's already like hours and hours ahead of us. I mean, it's almost sunlight for them in Sweden, but she's always here. Terrific, so talented from New York City, and Kathleen, and Alessandra. Forget all lang syne on my birthday. I want the songs you sing to be played at my birthday.
Amazing.
And Sherry Larson says, love the lyrics.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful song, beautiful voice. Alessandra says, new fan here too.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Lovedies are loving it. And Maureen in Arizona, just love your songs. You definitely have a new fan. Sean, that's right. We're one big Lovedy family here. Let's spread the sunshine. Carla in Brazil. Sean, you've really got the beat, man. That's cool.
Thank you.
Nice. Lots of smiles coming in from Jane in Sweden. Jen says, Sean, you yourself singing to us by yourself is such a magical blessing. Blessed be. Thank you, Sean, from Jen. Barry in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And Merlin was asking instruments, as far as playing any instruments.
I play a couple, I play a little bit of guitar and I play a little bit of piano. Like I can accompany myself, but very, very basically, like nothing. I hire the guys to do.
Yeah, you've got the professionals that have been doing it for years. Yeah. Alessandra says, big Lovedy hug and thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. That's what we say, the big Lovedy hugs here on the show. You love what you're doing, right? I know it's been tough this year, or at least the last 14 months. A lot of guests who've come through, regardless of whether they're performers, singers, musicians, actors, or anything, because we have guests that come from all walks of life. But for the ones who are specifically the performers, they've been saying that coming on the show has sort of reignited their energy, their passion, reminding them of why they do what they do, and sort of giving them that juice to say, you know what, pandemic or otherwise, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, and I want to get back to writing and performing, and hopefully you're getting a little of that juice from us tonight on the show, my friend.
Oh man, I mean, this is I understand why they say that. I mean, you've got an amazing group of people, man, that are following you, and to get this type of reaction from folks hearing music that they haven't heard ever. is just so inspiring. This is why I do it. This is what it's all about, is just making what I feel is great music with great lyrics and sharing it with the world, and hopefully making people happy, making people smile. And so, my fires were starting to burn, but this is definitely throwing some gasoline on there. 100%. I'm gonna go to bed smiling tonight.
Oh, perfect.
For
perfect.
sure. Thank you so much. And it's so important. I mean, this is what we love to do. Like,
we're communicators, right? We're storytellers, entertainers. Yeah.
And you're amazing, man. It's been an hour and a half, dude.
Yes. Actually, hour 36. Yeah.
More than that, because we were talking before a little bit.
Before.
Like, you're so smooth with it. Like, it's just so natural. The way it just all comes out, like, it's the way you answer the questions, the way you like bring in the comments, like, you're just so good at what you do. Like, honestly, I'm no bullshit here. Like, I'm in awe of people like you, because I mean, I do what I do. I sing and I entertain, and maybe I have to talk a little bit in between, but the way that you can just carry this for this long, kudos to you, man. Like, it is not an easy thing to do. People don't understand how hard that is to do.
I appreciate that very much, my friend. And if we're ever in the same city on the same stage, I'll be happy to intro and MC you on stage.
Nice. No, I think I'll be introing you. I think, yeah, we need to have a conversation on stage for sure.
Alessandra, you got something going here, Sean, with that. Jim's, your show has inspired me to write poems again. Thank you for your show. See, isn't that fantastic? When we do what we do, which comes naturally, though, obviously you and I both have put a lot of years and time and effort into what we do, but to make it seem so smooth and effortless, but it's the fact that we love what we do. We're so passionate about connecting, inspiring, empowering, lifting people up through our various talents. We're blessed, aren't we? We're blessed.
Oh, I mean, dude, I'll tell you two stories that have moved me and made me believe that I'm supposed to be doing what it is that I'm doing. We were in some part of Georgia on that tour that I was talking about, and we did a show, and it was like a subscription series show. So we went out. And it was all about love. The whole entire show was just about love. It was a bunch of cover songs, and it was put into like the order of the songs were put into an order to show the arc of a relationship. And one of the songs was "Wonderful World." I think it might have ended the first set, or maybe it was the last song of the show. Anyways, there's always a meet and greet at the end of the show. So I go out, and this lady comes up to me. She's an elderly lady, and she's like, that last song you sang, "Wonderful World." She's like, that was the first song that my husband and I ever danced to. And she's like, he just passed away. And she said, looked at me with tears in her eyes, and she said, "Thank you." And I can't tell you what that meant to me, to the way that she looked at me and just smiled, and knowing that brought back that memory, and that tonight she was going home feeling, it moved me to tears. It almost moves me to tears now. Like I'm holding back tears, because that is what this is all about. Nothing else, none of the other stuff matters. Like I started doing this because I wanted attention from girls, but it has truly bloomed into something that I truly love to do. I can't imagine doing anything else. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to give back something to people. And the second story is even more incredible, because I was up here and I was with that terrible record label, and they put me in contact with this charity called Phoenix. Is it Phoenix Rising? It was something to do with Phoenix. Anyways, basically what they did is they were a charity that bought this huge building, and they allowed homeless kids and youth to come into the building and live rent-free for a year. And also gave them and taught them skills, whether it was like in machinery and stuff like that, like gave them serious life skills so that they could go out there and get a job and be independent. But they gave them that year to just relax and breathe, because everybody needs that when you're in that situation. If you can just have some time to breathe, you can start figuring out how to put your life back together again. Anyways, one of the kids was very, very much interested in music, and I was going to be doing a showcase someplace. And so they came to me and they were like, would you mind if Matt sings with you? And I was like, oh my God, of course. So I was like, this is what this is all about. I was like, let me talk to him. So I talked to him. I was like, absolutely, man. Would love to have you on that stage. Don't you miss it. Blah, blah, blah. Come. The night comes. He comes on stage. He plays. All good. Little did I know that there was a guy in the audience named JB who was a local hip hop artist or whatever, but he was also a producer and stuff. And he saw Matt and he decided to approach Matt and say, hey, I want to work with you. I want to actually like start recording you and all that stuff. And they did all that. And that was great. It was about maybe 3 years ago or so. Matt hits me up on Facebook and he's like, hey man, how you doing? Da, da, da. He's like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I was like, oh, I'm so happy for you, right? From where you came from to like now, that's absolutely amazing. He's like, I really want to come up. Are you going to be at Soul City or whatever? I was like, yeah, man, I would love for you to come. Do you mind coming up on stage and like, just talking a bit, because I'd love to introduce you, and I know you're doing stuff and you're selling things and would love to do that. He comes to the show. I invite him up on stage and he's like, folks, I want to tell you something. He's like, this guy right here doesn't know it, but he saved my life. He's like, we were supposed to do this show. He was going to do the show and he invited me to come and perform. But what he doesn't understand is that night I was planning on killing myself. As soon as I was done, because there was nothing else for me. And he said, the fact that I was there and JB was in the audience, he's like, that's what saved me. And he turned to me and he said, thank you.
Yeah, those types of things, right? Yeah, that's the stuff that really goes beyond, anything else. And even with what's gone on in the last 14 months in all of our lives, there's been so many incredible teachable moments that remind us truly of what life's all about, how fragile it is, how precious it is, how much time is limited, and to really, make the most of the time. And as a fellow Libra, you're a unifier. You like to bring people together like I do. You're not extreme over here, extreme over there. You're sort of in the middle, trying to bring extremes together. And, when you have things like that happen in your life, and I've had a few things similar, and it just really cuts to the chase. It goes right to the heart. It reminds us of why we're here and that we all need each other. And that oftentimes, we never know what somebody else is going through. Oh. And even though the outer shell may look fabulous and the car they're driving is pristine, inside, you don't know what's going on. And when you reach out, it's a beautiful thing. And people have certainly done that during the pandemic. The other thing too is sometimes you don't realize how what you're doing, which is something that comes naturally for you, something that's born in you, something that you're sharing with the world that you love to do so much, can not only entertain, but really provide solace and peace and joy for people at levels. Like even with this show, I've had so many people tell me, oh my God, thank God you've done this through the pandemic. It helped us through it, lifted us up. And that's doing what I do naturally that I love doing. Yeah. And that's sort of the residual effect, the icing on the cake. And a story like that, which really, again, cuts to the core. I'm sure there's many people who have heard your music, who have followed you as well, who have stories where maybe there was a breakup happening or there was a death in the family or what have you, and the music and the words and just the good vibes, the feeling makes it a little bit softer to swallow.
Yeah.
And that's cool, right? You never know.
You don't. You really don't. There's a gentleman named Wally Shaw who's a poet. Hopefully you'll have him on this show as well.
Let him know about the show. Yeah, I'd love to have him.
My management, Laura Van Lees, manages him, and he's
Laura
fantastic.
and Carly are terrific.
Yeah, man, that. He's amazing. But it was the strangest thing. Not even strange, but it was just like, he's like, you don't really remember me, do you? Because we were talking. He's like, you don't remember me, but I met you way back when you were like, I think I might have been with Essence. Like it might have been that long ago. And he's like, you told me to basically to paraphrase, because I don't know exactly, but he's like, I basically told him to just be himself. Don't try to be anybody else. Don't try to rap like nobody else, because he was rapping. And he's like, don't try to do anything like anybody else. Just be yourself. And that will be enough. You will figure it out. It'll all work out. Just be yourself. There's already a ton of other people trying to do that. Be you. Yes. And he said, that's changed. He's like, that changed. That changed me. He's like, he went into poetry instead.
Yeah, see?
And now he's very successful doing that. And he's like, you probably don't even remember the conversation. I was like, no, I don't. But isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
how one conversation can change somebody's life? Like that's nuts. And it's so important to remember that for us as communicators, as people that are out there, for us to never lose sight of that, because you just never know who you're talking to and how you're influencing them, or what you know what I mean? Like it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, it really truly is a beautiful thing. It
is, and it gives you the juice to want to continue and keep doing and survive all the different things like you've described, all the the ups and the downs and the twisty curvy roads that life brings, still moving forward and sharing your talent with the world, and that's a cool thing. What are some of the other, I like to ask this question sometimes of guests, what are some of the other blessings and joys in your life that continue to propel you forward in what really is a very, as I would know, a very demanding and unpredictable industry and fickle business? Yeah. What are some of the things that remind you, of course, your family, and tell us about some of those blessings?
Oh man, I am blessed with an amazing family. My parents are my rocks. They truly are. They sacrificed so much for me and my sister to have the life that and the opportunities that we had. There was a funny moment when it was back in, I think it was right before I was about to go to university. Actually, it was for sure. Because the band, in essence, and we got an opportunity to actually go out west to like Edmonton or Calgary and open for Usher. And, we were going to be out there for like a couple of weeks because there was a couple of shows to do, but I was supposed to be starting university. And, my parents were very much set on me going to university, right? And I was set at that point too. Like I was like, yeah, I want to do this. For sure. And so I went to them and I was like, hey, I want to go out west, and do this. And I need to take a week off or a semester off of university. And my mom didn't speak to me for like a good 2 weeks. Like she did not speak to me. She was just like, absolutely not. Like, what do you think you're doing? No. My dad was kind of the same way, but I don't know, it might have been about a week later, he was just like, he came to me and he was like, I understand. He's like, if you promise me that you will go back and finish university, he's like, you go ahead, you do what you need to do, but just promise me that you will go back. And I said, absolutely. And he's like, you got my blessing. And so we went, and funny story is, like, we did those shows, everything was great. Came back to Ontario, and I'm still working in a movie theater, tearing tickets. I'm over there. I'm being driven in a limousine, back and forth. After the show, I'm in a limousine. I'm going to the after party. All good. I get back home, and I'm right back at Cineplex Odeon, tearing tickets, trying to make money. Like,
trying to survive. Yeah,
trying to survive. Right. That's the way it is. And so during that semester that I was supposed to be going to school, I ended up just working in the theater arcade for a good 6 months, or sorry, it was about 4 or 5 months. And nothing is more motivational than working in an arcade, just handing out change all day. I was like, oh, I'm going back to school. For sure. I'm going back to school because I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life, for sure. But they have been an unbelievable source of support. I know that no matter what happens to me, they will always be there for me. Always. And when you have that kind of support behind you, when you can just feel like it doesn't matter, like no matter what happens, you can go out there and take all the risks in the world. You can do what that someone's got your back, and they just do. And so my sister is the same sort of way. She's actually a graphic designer and an amazing singer and songwriter, and she's so unbelievably talented. I pale in comparison to her. But she's constantly there. She takes, her and her husband take pictures for me. They design covers for me. Like, she's just always there for me. And so there's that. I've got my wife, who's absolutely amazing. My daughter, my daughter is my heart, and this, this kind of like built-in family that I came. We've been together for. I guess, I've known her since 2003, but I guess we didn't actually get really together till like 2009, 10, something like that. So it's been a good 10 years or so of hashing it out. We've been through a lot of stuff, but I know I have her back, and she knows I've got hers for sure. And when you've got that kind of support, man, geez, there's just no. You don't feel like you're gonna fail. Like,
that's
you feel
a lot of blessing. Yeah,
man. You feel like no matter what, regardless of what happens, it's gonna work out. Right. It's gonna work out. You just got to remain calm and just let it flow and just go. And I've been given a lot of gifts, man. Like, I've honestly been given so many gifts. This voice, definitely. And I've started to dive into acting.
Have you really?
Yeah, like I was interested in it. I was like, I really feel like I could be a great actor, but I didn't have the time to like really dive into it. And so I think it was about 2015 I started taking some classes and some private lessons and whatnot. Not taking it too seriously yet still, but just like over the course of actually the pandemic, I found an agent. And I found a great coach who has, taught me from the ground up in the auditioning phase and stuff like that. And at the beginning of this year, I landed a Wheaties commercial. I landed a small role.
The Breakfast of Champions, Wheaties.
Absolutely. Sorry, mini wheats.
Frosted mini wheats. I love those. Mini wheats,
absolutely. A small part in a Christmas movie that you guys are going to see on the Oprah Network. It's probably a Christmas.
On Own. Yeah. You'll be in that, really?
Yeah.
Do you know the name of it yet? Or
I do. It's called A Sisterly Christmas.
And you're in it.
I'm in it.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's Oprah Winfrey's network. Own, OWN, folks. Wow.
Yeah. And
cool.
Yeah, man. So there's a ton. And I'm in the new Saw movie called Spiral. That was my the first role that I ever got in like a major film was that. And it was me like talking, like I'm a cop. I play a cop.
Yeah.
It's a small little like role, but it's like I'm talking to Chris Rock. Like that was my first ever.
Not too shabby.
Dude, I was so scared. I was so scared.
Did he have fun with you? Was it?
He was more like, you know, because he knew the executive producer who knew my manager. That's kind of how this whole thing,
it's the way it works.
It's the way it works, right? And so I had learned the lines, but I was so nervous. And they're like, "Okay, let's rehearse it," and we go to do it, and I'm just like, and I like
a mile a minute.
A mile a minute, man. I spit out the line so quickly, and he just looked at me. He was like, "So and the scene ends." And he like goes to walk away, and then he turns back. He's like, "Slow it down.
Just slow it down.
Just slow it down." Yeah. Just like
that was a very good Kriss Rock.
just slow it down. And yeah, but that was the first time. And after that, everything else just seems like easy after that, because it's just like, man. Wow. But yeah, I've been getting.
So you're enjoying that ride, huh? The acting ride.
I really, really enjoy it, and I feel like my time with that is just beginning, and that's the great part about, you know, music, the stuff that I'm doing. I mean, I can do it for a long time, but music almost feels sometimes like a young man's game per se. And not that I'm old, like I'm 45 years old, you know what I mean? But the kids that are doing it now are like 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I used to be that.
15, you know? 16.
15, 16. Well, yeah, if you're getting into like the real pop realm, for sure. But like acting, man, I've got
you can grow into that. Yeah, you can grow into that.
I'm like prime time right now for me. You know what I mean? I got the Grays coming in, so you know what I mean. I can play the young dad, which I am. So
we got the next Denzel right in front of us here.
Yeah, I'm working hard. I want to be really good at it. I don't just want to be
just throwing it away. Right.
I want to be really good. If there's one thing my dad has taught me, it's like, if you're going to do something, do it.
Invest in the time.
Invest in it, man. Or
give
else,
it your best. What's the point, right?
What's the point?
Good advice from your dad.
Oh, yeah. Got a
Yeah.
lot of that from him, for sure.
My father has always said, if anybody ever says anything nice to you, ask them to put it in writing and address it management.
Nice.
That's his Irish humor.
Oh my gosh.
And that's another thing, right? You got to laugh. You got to find the humor in things. You got to throw in some levity to get through these crazy situations that life throws at us, right?
Oh man, if I wasn't, that's one thing that I love about my wife, is that we laugh together. We laugh about the same sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Like nothing is too serious. It's just kind of like, this is like whatever. We laugh at so much stuff. And you need that in order to get through life. Like you just do. Like if you're not laughing, you're crying. And I don't cry. Nah. I cry enough. I cry happy cries. Like I get
happy cries.
Emotional. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I still cry at E.T. You know that, Jim?
Oh, do you?
At the end of that movie, you know, when it's like, when he dies or whatever, and he's crying out, I'm like, no, E.T. No. I still cry at that flip. I'm like, no. And then when he comes back to life, it's like, oh. And then when they say goodbye at the end, and it's just like, oh, how come they never made an E.T. 2?
Isn't that amazing? I still tear up and go back to my childhood when they show the animated Frosty the Snowman, and Frosty is in that garden center of the poinsettias and he melts.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And they play that sad music. Do 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 do. And then the little girl goes in and starts crying because Frosty's a puddle.
Yep.
That's still a little rough.
Yeah.
All these years later, you know, you should look back at some of our episodes of the 400 plus episodes we've done of our series here, because you mentioned E.T. and legendary Hollywood actress Dee Wallace, who was in everything, who played the mom on E.T., was a guest on the show. Just about a month and a half ago. And we talk about E.T., we talk about The Howling, all these, The Hills Have Eyes, all these movies that she was in. And you could see that episode on our YouTube channel, Jim Master TV, and Dee Wallace, who played the mom in E.T.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I have to watch that.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you say the Howling. Like, I used to love that movie. Like that. Yeah, man. I loved like those. I guess that was 80s, right? That was like 80s.
E.T. was 80s, yeah. Those big blockbusters.
Man.
E.T. and Poltergeist and all the different. Sherry Larson says, mine is The Ghost of Mrs. Muir. And Maureen says, Toy Story 3 equals ugly crying.
Oh, no.
Merlin says, crying is good for acting, especially on the soap operas. Yeah. And Kathleen in New York loved E.T. And Mary says, you're great, Sean. Keep being you. And Kathleen says, thanks, Sean, for sharing your music and talent with us. You're a true lovity. And Maureen, you're so more than okay, Sean. You are freaking fabulous. The double Fs.
Thank you.
Jen wants to know, this is a question she likes to ask the guests. Now, we've talked about it on the show because for me, one of my Zen places, of course, like you talked about tonight, one of the ultimate Zen places with loving family and friends. But as far as physical places, we're here, along the coast, along the ocean. And I grew up, in the New York area, along the ocean, out east on Long Island. And we're here in southern New England, the ocean a couple blocks away. The ocean for me is a very Zen place. Just the rhythm, the tide, the sun setting, sun rising, the sand. I'm swimming, surfing, boogie boarding it, sailing it, whatever I can do. The ocean, larger than myself, is a very Zen place for me. So she always asks, do you like the ocean or the mountains for your Zen? You are there in Canada, lots of mountains. But what is a Zen place for you, Sean?
Ocean.
You like the water?
Yeah, man.
Ocean, yeah.
I used to believe that I would, whenever I landed in Miami or just Florida, kind of in general, Miami, I always felt like I was home, like just being close to the water. But it moved from Miami to like California. And like Venice Beach, like Santa Monica. Santa Monica is where
that beautiful? Santa Monica is beautiful.
That's where my heart like truly is. I would love to live in Santa Monica. There's just something about that there that I love. LA, like downtown LA proper. I'm not that big of a fan, but Santa Monica is someplace that I'm just like, oh man. I could stay there for a long.
Have you ever gone to that restaurant, the Ivy? Which is that's a really cool place. I think a friend took me there. I was on a TV shoot, and then I got a chance to spend some time with a friend who they've actually since moved. He moved his family because his son was starting university in Texas. So they're in Austin, Texas, which actually is a big music area, up and coming. It's really an incredible area. But and no state tax too, that helps. But from that area, and he said, you ever have lunch at the Ivy? And I said, no, I've always heard about it. So we went there. It's the food is delicious, beautiful place, view of the ocean and the pier with the Ferris wheel and all. And a couple of tables over was actor Dennis Quaid. And it was one of those situations where you go to that restaurant, and if you see various people that you know from Hollywood or what have you, nobody interrupts anybody or nobody goes lunging towards anybody. Everybody's very respectful of each other. And the restaurant makes sure of that while you're dining. So, and that's a cool thing, but it's quite a restaurant right there in the heart of Santa Monica.
Wow. I got to check that next time I'm writing that. I'm literally writing that down.
The ivy. Yeah. And literally they have all out the front. They have ivy and roses hanging over, like cascading over the front of it. Really a beautiful spot there. So, I guess you'll be coming to the States hopefully and touring once things can get back into gear. Would you ever, if Broadway ever called, would you ever participate in Broadway plays and things like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I won't say no to it. I don't know if I don't know. I feel like I'm not sure if that's my spot per se.
Right.
But you never know. I mean, who knows? I love to sing. I just feel like Broadway people are really, really special. Like the talent is like the talent on Broadway is
shows 8 nights a week, twice a day, and
what the voices, like incredible. I saw Wicked on Broadway, unreal. Like I don't even know. I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
you know, like you're in awe, just like she's hitting that note for that long. Like how
Idina Menzel. Yeah, Idina. Yeah. Yeah. She's amazing. I had the pleasure of interviewing her on PBS, and it was for a concert, Barefoot at the Symphony, and she was performing, and it was a concert for her, and Marvin Hamlisch was the conductor at the time. He's since passed, of course, but it was really wonderful. And she was a riot. Great sense of humor, Idina, and but yeah, her vocal range and Wicked and all the other performers that are a part of it.
Oh yeah,
unbelievable, right?
The entire cast. You know what I mean? For like, it's just it's a whole different thing. But
you'll have to watch our show on Sunday live at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, because on Sunday we have Ethan Slater coming on the show, and he starred on Broadway as SpongeBob SquarePants, the Broadway hit. There he is in the middle, jumping up in the air. He's with us on Sundays in New York right now. He flew actually from LA to New York.
Amazing.
Maureen says, next to Jersey Boys, Wicked is my favorite Broadway show. I've seen it 9 times in Arizona.
Wow.
Cool stuff. Merlin wants to know if you're near Lake Ontario.
I am near Lake Ontario. Yeah. Just
you go to the lake?
Yes, we were actually just at the lake the other day. We went to the beach. It was so windy. Yeah. But I've never experienced this before. It was so windy, like the wind was whipping the sand into your back, to the point where it hurt. Kids were screaming like, ah! It's like, this is the beach. Like
it was like a horror movie. Friday the 13th.
Anyways, but yeah, we're just down the street from Lake Ontario. I do go every once in a while, but the better lake, at least I feel like it's a better lake, is Lake Erie. And there's a bunch of like beautiful lakes, a bunch of beautiful beaches on the Lake Erie side that you can go to. It's a little further, like it takes about an hour and a half to drive, but it's worth it. And some nice, like very cool little towns and stuff.
Cleveland's like right on the other side. Yeah. Well, you're amazing, my friend. This was really fantastic, and I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I certainly have with you, Sean. This was a blast,
dude. I'm looking at the time right now. I'm like, it is 10:13.
We're just chatting, right?
Just talking, and I love. These are the type of conversations that I love. The whole scripted, question this, question. It's like, man. Like, people need to talk. People need to feel each other, and that's how you get the best out. Like, there's so much information that has been passed between us right now. It's like two friends. It's great.
That's what I tell everybody. It's my style and my professional work. And with this show is I prefer, conversations, warm freestyle conversations, wherever it goes. We don't have to script anything. It's not an interview. It's really a conversation on a talk show with folks watching around the world, having a good time participating. And it's authentic and real, which I think is unique because not a lot of things are. And usually sometimes, a lot of shows when a guest comes on, they'll say, okay, tell us about the new CD, tell us about the movie, tell us about the book, 4 or 5 questions, where'd you grow up, and then done and out. And we don't usually do it done and out. We like to really, explore, because I think what's happened, tonight, as it happens regularly on the show, is we've learned more about each other. The viewers have learned more about us and probably even about themselves. And now when they hear your music, or they check out more of it, if they're already a fan, and maybe see on the Christmas special coming up on OWN and all these other things, they'll have a deeper appreciation of why you do what you do and who you are and your passion, which I think is a really cool and rare thing, huh?
Yeah, man, especially in this day and age where everything is just so microwave and goes by you so quickly. There's no connection. And I feel like, I mean, that's a whole other conversation about music and movies and everything else, the way that everything's being made so quickly and just based on numbers as opposed to actual talent. And you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's gone, everything has gone into this fast food type phase, and we've forgotten how to make stuff with like mama's cooking. We really have. We've forgotten how to put in the ingredients and stir it up and let it, let it marinate for like, or 2 hours. Just let it like just cook. We've forgotten how to do that. Actually, we haven't forgotten. There's just people that are just like
not doing it. Yeah,
do it the other way.
Right. No. I think we've got something special here, and it was really a pleasure to have you on it. Let's stay in touch. Let's stay connected, and definitely spread. We'll continue to spread the word for you and about you, and we'll keep the porch light on for you. You are welcome back anytime, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
There's the website, SeanJonesMusic.com. You can check it out. Spotify as well, and all the usual places. And I got a little sampling of some of his talent tonight, gang. But let's stay in touch, and I hope we gather at some point and break bread. That would be really, really cool. And tell others about our series. We would love that. And I wish you nothing but continued success and more of those blessings and joys in your life. And again, we'll keep the light on for you. You're welcome back anytime.
Dude, thank you so very, very much for having me. This was amazing. And the Lovities, you folks, oh man, thank you so much for all your good vibes, and thank you for listening to my stuff and the comments. And I just, you really made me happy tonight. I'm not joking when I say I'm going to go to bed with a smile on my face tonight for sure.
I appreciate that. And then no copay either. It's cheaper than therapy.
Absolutely.
Maureen says, what a wonderful conversation this has been. Sean, thank you for sharing your stories and your wonderful voice with us. May your star continue to shine brightly.
Thank you, Maureen.
Sherry Larson says, great analogy. And Merlin says, good night, neighbor. Take care. Kathy Short in Cleveland, thank you for a wonderful evening of entertainment. Our pleasure. And I love this. More coming in here. Awesome Zen that you have, according to Jen Barry. And Mary saying good night. She's heading to work. Wow.
Oh,
wow. She works in the healthcare industry as well. Jane in Sweden. Good night, all Lovities. King Jim and Lovity Sean. Where it's really late there in Sweden. Cool stuff. International audience here. And one more late breaking question. Jen will not be able to sleep tonight unless she knows, what is your favorite food?
Ooh. My favorite food. Well, you know what? To be honest with you, it's a very strange one. I think I would have, the thing that I eat the most of, to be honest with you, is grapes. Green grapes. I don't know why, but every single morning I have green grapes, and I have them throughout the day. I will go to the store. It is the one thing I will splurge on. I just really, really enjoy grapes. I mean, I like chicken, and I like, all kinds of stuff. But for whatever reason, grapes. And they've got these new grapes, dude. They've got these cotton candy grapes. Have you tried cotton candy grapes before?
Cotton candy grapes?
Dude.
Oh.
They taste like cotton candy. I kid you not. I don't know what's in them. I don't know what I have no idea.
Another world premiere exclusive. Cotton candy grapes.
If you have a moment, go to the grocery store. I don't know. They must have them in the States. They have to. Check it out, because they have them here. The cotton candy grapes. They taste like cotton candy, and they're grapes.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you can eat the entire bag. You'll just go through them. It's crazy. Now they cost a fortune. Trust me, but it's not like an everyday thing. So splurge.
That is cool. Cotton candy grapes. You heard it first here on the Jim Masters Show Live. That is cool. We're going to look for that tomorrow. if we get through this tropical storm coming through. That's it. Save us some. We've earned those cotton candy grapes after this. Oh, Sherry Larson, who's in the States, says cotton candy grapes are fabulous.
Oh,
so she knows. She knows that they're here. Love it. Yeah. Merlin there in Ontario says you live in Wine Valley, so I love green grapes and white wine.
Oh, nice.
She's stepping it up a bit. And Jen says, Sean, you are a lovety. And good way to wrap. My friend, thanks so much for joining us here. This was really, really cool. All this great time we've spent together. Yeah, about 2 hours, 16 minutes or so. It never feels like that, right? It doesn't feel like we spent that amount of time.
No,
just
man.
Shooting the breeze. And my cohort here, who's usually with me every night, just wanted to say goodnight to you as well, Mr. George Burns.
Oh, George. Nice.
With his cigar and his
his
hanky and his tie, and he says thanks for joining us as well. She gets a kick. People get a kick out of that when they show that on the show. It's a little bit of a pop-up surprise there. All right, my friend. High five. Best of everything to you.
Oh, man. Thank you very much again, Jim. And thank you, Lovedies. Thank you. It was wonderful meeting you all. I hope to see you all in person soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You take care. Let's stay in touch and keep doing what you're doing, my friend. You're making an impression and an impact, and it's all good stuff. You take care, my friend. Okay.
Thanks. You too.
All right. Yeah. Ciao. Bye-bye. Bye. One and only Sean Jones here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Really cool guy. Great guest to have on the show. And like you said, we just wrapped, and we like to do that here on the show. I'm so pleased when I hear the guests say these kinds of words, telling us about how much they enjoy being on the show. They love the flow and the format, all of the interaction, the fact that, we actually spend some time with them and really take an interest in their lives and their passions. I share a lot about myself during these conversations. You guys, the viewers, whether you're watching live or you watch this later on and you comment on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, you share a lot about, your life as well. And I think it's really cool stuff. Matter of fact, Maureen from Arizona already commented on our YouTube channel. Now, you guys, I know, like to comment live in comments when we're live. You're welcome to comment afterwards as well in the archives on each of the episodes on our YouTube channel. Maureen posted this about 2 hours ago on our YouTube channel for one of her episodes, and I love it. This is from Maureen in Arizona. She goes, I never know what to expect from the guests on JMS Live, but I do know that every single show brings me to a happy place. This show is the perfect way to wrap a hectic day working in the hospital there in Arizona. Beautiful words, lovely Maureen. Thank you very much for commenting on our YouTube channel and posting that on the YouTube channel. We really, really appreciate that. And Kathleen Walker, thank you very much. That's our super chat. If you ever see our super chat, I think it's at the top of the screen in the comments when we're live. That helps support the show, and we really love that and appreciate that. Many of you have done that. Kathleen, thank you very much. Great show, Jim. So glad I could be here. Thank you, and I'm so glad. Oh, I don't think I'd ever say that I would be happy that my New York Mets baseball team would be rained out. But one of the advantages is when the team is rained out, my friend Kathleen is with us. And of course, when the baseball season is over, she's with us, or she watches this series in the archives. Thank you, Kathleen. And hopefully we'll get together soon. I see your hair wants to flow. Let it down. The hair does want to flow. Yes, it's fighting. It's fighting the pullback. It looks kind of cool now. It's sort of like creating its own as it's trying to come down and pop out. I change my hair a lot, change the look. Working in this industry, I have to for a lot of different projects. I have a guest, not for this show, but for a television news magazine show I do in New York. I have a guest flying in from California who's an executive coach. She's an equal pay advocate and much, much more, and very accomplished person. And she's flying in from California. Actually, she's arriving here tomorrow through this storm we're having. So we got our fingers crossed. And then we're going to be in the studio, television studio, actually, on Saturday morning. And I'll be interviewing her for the television news magazine show I do in New York. She's actually going to be coming to this area. So my hair will not be in the full, it'll be more coiffed, probably like this. Boy, the makeup artists and the hair people, they're really going to have to work hard to keep it this way. I'm not going to be able to twist and turn too much when I'm interviewing her on the TV news magazine show on Saturday morning. And then separate from this show, I also had an opportunity to, you guys know I've worked with PBS television here in the States for a long time. PBS television. I also host a lifestyle travel TV series on CBS stations and other affiliates. I do a TV news magazine show in New York. I've worked in iHeartRadio. I do this show, the Jim Master Show Live. So there's a lot of different things I do. And I was at PBS all day yesterday, and we were filming and co-hosting segments in the television studio for upcoming specials that are going to be airing on public television coming up, actually starting this Saturday. And one of the folks that I'd love to get him on this show, be cool, but for a special with the guitar legend Joe Bonamassa, who's wildly popular and internationally known. And that special is airing on PBS. And we were at the Hartford, Connecticut studios of Connecticut Public Television and filming, and it was great. It was great. Hairspray, yes, absolutely. Yes. Actually, when I was in New Hampshire, we picked up a couple of those, bandana things, not the full, but like Nike, we went into an athletic store because I really needed it and got some, they tie in the back. Still wrangling. Actually, the hair is shorter. It's trying to really do its thing here. The hair is, I think it hit the 2-hour mark and it said, okay, I've reached my limit. It's shorter than it was. We actually got it cut last week. And actually it's going to be worked with tomorrow morning because we have the big shoot on Saturday morning, TV shoot. So remember it was coming down to here. And Merlin went on the Facebook page, Jim Masters TV, she said, because she noticed when we were in New Hampshire, some of the photos we posted on our Facebook page, she noticed it looked like it came up a little bit, was a little shorter. And yeah, we brought it up a little bit a couple of days ago, before 4th of July holiday, before we went up to New Hampshire, because I had an opportunity to meet John Davidson, who was a guest on our show, the legendary television host and TV personality, actor, singer, legendary game show host. That's Incredible, the $100,000 Pyramid, Hollywood Squares. While we were vacationing in New Hampshire, we stopped by his new music venue in Sandwich, New Hampshire, called Club Sandwich, and had a great time seeing John perform. And then we got together with him afterwards for some wine and great conversation. And I posted a few photos and a quick video, and my hair was really long. I posted a quick video on Facebook at Jim Masters TV as well. We have some more photos actually with John we're going to post on our Facebook page, Jim Masters TV. We also have a Facebook page for this show called JMS Live Lovety Hall. So if you haven't checked that out as well. But the hair is shorter than it was before 4th of July, Independence Day holiday. We got it, styled, and it was just because remember I hadn't had it cut for an entire year and a year and a half, so we didn't get it fully cut. And I'm really still debating, because do I want to go back to the shorter like there in our logo, or do I want to, because we've worked so hard to let it grow, and I've never had it this long in my entire life. It's been like a project. It's been like a science experiment. It's been really cool, but so. We'll see. We're still deciding, but we brought it in a little bit, just a little bit. Now, if I take these bands out in the back, it's going to go boom. Maybe tomorrow night I'll let it loose. I know some of you really like the hair longer and some of you like shorter. It's a mix. I'd say there's more that are liking it longer. I know at the television stations, they like it longer because it's a different kind of look. Kind of cool. Yeah, I love it. You guys are great. No matter what, you guys are here. Long hair, short hair, you guys are here. and I appreciate that. Thanks for another great show, Jim. See you tomorrow. Kathy in Cleveland, thank you as well. Jen says, go Phillies. She's in Pennsylvania. And Colleen says, love the photos and video from John Davidson and the photos of our holiday trip, our vacation in beautiful New Hampshire, again, where we got a chance to climb to the summit of the highest peak in the northeastern United States, beautiful Mount Washington. And we got a chance to stay at a great hotel, the North Conway Grand Hotel in North Conway, New Hampshire, which is literally on the Maine, New Hampshire border. It's way up there, but a beautiful area, beautiful area. And Maureen says, off the grid this weekend, going to Las Vegas to see John Lloyd Young. If you didn't see the episode, gang, and I'd love to have him back. I think I'll see if we can get him back. If you see him, if you happen to talk to him, if you bump into him when you are in Vegas, tell him we'd love to have him back on the Jim Masters Show Live. We had an epic conversation with him, and it'll be cool to have him back. So reach out to him, Maureen, and say, hey, Jim would love to have you back, and we'll update some of the cool things he's doing now that things are opening up. Archives, here you come. I want to let you know, actually, we have some amazing guests that are coming on. Tomorrow, we have brilliant actor, television, film, Broadway actor, and more. Stephen Dexter is with us live. And then we have an incredible performer, Tamara Hayden. She's live from California on Saturday. Sunday, Ethan Slater, SpongeBob SquarePants, is with us Sunday. That's going to be terrific. These are all at 8 p.m. Our summer hours for our show, for those watching live, are 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, because my day is really busy with my work in television and radio. And then because it's so nice out, people are out and about. They're at the beach, they're at the park, they're vacationing, they're doing what they're doing. So we figured we'd do it at 8 o'clock so people can enjoy their day and not feel rushed during the summertime because it's so beautiful out. And then, we come in, and if you miss anything, again, our archives are there for you. That's why we keep everything archived. But I also want to let you know, we have some other amazing guests that are joining us. The one and only legendary Hollywood actress, Joyce Bulifant, is with us on Monday. Now, of course, she's been in every TV show you can think of. She originally was going to play Carol Brady on the Brady Bunch. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, she was originally the one before Florence Henderson. Joyce Bulifant was going to be Carol Brady on the Brady Bunch. She's been in Love Boat and movies and shows and on game shows and everything. She's wonderful. She's Hollywood royalty. And she is going to be a guest on the Jim Masters Show Live this coming Monday, which is really, really exciting. She has a new book out, My 4 Hollywood Husbands. That's going to be really, really cool. So Joyce Bulifant is coming on the show, and we're really excited to have her here. And if you're familiar with her work, then you're going to just love her. She's a barrel of energy. She's a bundle of energy, and she just is absolutely amazing. So that is coming up on Monday. This Monday, Joyce Bulifant is going to be here. If you look at that photo there, you can see the cover of the book. You can see her today on the top there. She's holding up that blue card. That's when she was on Match Game, the game show. And on the right, she's there with Gavin MacLeod, who was, of course, Captain Stubing, Love Boat. He just passed recently, and so many other movies and shows and everything else. That's Monday. And look, we let the hair loose. There you go. You wanted it, Merlin. You got it. The things that were holding it in, they just had enough. So there it is. It is loose. It is happy. And let's see what else. Oh, we have on Tuesday. Now, again, if you're watching live, then this is perfect for your update. But if you're watching this episode 6 months from now, these shows will have already aired. So you can scroll back in our archives and you can see these episodes. We have unbelievable illustrator, animator, celebrity caricaturist Henry Lamar on our show. He just did a recent caricature of Ethel Mertz and Fred Mertz, Vivian Vance and William Frawley. He's done incredible work with Lucille Ball, who he absolutely adores and loves, and many, many others. He's extraordinary. We're going to see so much of his work We're going to welcome him live from Los Angeles, California, from Hollywood this Tuesday. The brilliant caricaturist, animator, and illustrator Henry Lamar is with us, and that's going to be amazing. Really, really is. Some other guests coming up a week from this Saturday. David Osmond, the son of Alan Osmond, who's the brother to Donnie and Marie Osmond. David is going to be with us live. He's an incredible singer and performer. Sue Matsuki is going to be with us. Brilliant singer and performer extraordinaire. She's joining us as well next week. We're really, really excited about that. That's going to be really, really cool. So look out for that. And a week from this Sunday, Murray Daigle is going to be with us. Yeah, she's an incredible Irish singer and songwriter and performer. She's going to be with us as well. Coming up next week, live from Los Angeles, we have an incredible guest who's joining us. And you've probably seen it promoted on our YouTube channel. This is Fox LA meteorologist Maria Whitesell. Now, she is a very popular meteorologist and television personality in Los Angeles for KTTV TV Channel 11 in LA. That's the Fox affiliate in Los Angeles. She'll be with us to talk about her career, but actually she's written this very inspirational and very beautiful book dealing with loss and grief. Her husband passed away, and she went through all the motions of losing her husband, who comes from a Hollywood family. And she opens up about it in this incredible book. A beautiful person inside and out, a broadcast colleague. And I'm so honored that she'll be joining us here on the show exclusively next week. And you can see it on a YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And that's going to be a very inspiring episode of our series. We look forward to that. And that's just a few of the many guests that are coming up on the Jim Masters Show Live. Hey, we thank our friend Sean Jones joining us. Here's some of the other photos if you didn't see them. We showed these in the beginning, some of his headshots and photography and really cool stuff. This album as well. And look for the new music that's coming out too. And of course, now this, he was talking about the boarding sessions. On WestJet Airlines, you can hear their music. He was talking about that. And there he is there. And again, SeanJonesMusic.com is the website. He was an awesome guest. We had a cool time with him. Lots of music, great conversation. These shows are always epic. I forgot to ask him, or I forgot to tell him to go stretch his legs. I'll have to text him that. I always tell the guests to go stretch their legs. Yes, claps from Merlin. The hair is down. Jen Barry says, I love SpongeBob. Ethan Slater, who starred in SpongeBob SquarePants and a lot more. He's a brilliant Broadway performer. Is with us on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Great shows coming up, if I say so myself. A lot of work putting them together, but I love doing it. Thank you for another wonderful evening. Thank you, Sherry. I toast all of you, but I had iced tea in this glass, just regular iced tea. Actually, it was the lemonade iced tea, the combo, half lemonade, half iced tea. But I snuck some swigs of it when Sean was singing. Little funky in the beginning of our show because we had a lightning galore outside here, and it actually knocked our power off during this episode for 30 seconds. I mean, everything, the internet knocked off, the lights went out, everything for about 30 seconds. And the lights came back on. The internet didn't. So we were scrambling here a little bit. Fortunately, Sean was in the middle of describing something. So I think I got knocked off. So my picture went away. But Sean's, because of the streaming service that we use, Sean didn't get knocked off because, again, the streaming service took over and we were still live. So I got, for 30 seconds, knocked off. Your host, the producer of the show, gets knocked off his own show? What kind of lightning bolt was that? Was that a message? So, because we got this big tropical storm coming up the coast right now. It's going to be rough weather tonight and tomorrow here along the East Coast of the United States, Northeast and the Middle Atlantic, coming up from, the Southeast. But so I got knocked off for a blip. Sean was still on. And then fortunately, the internet came back on. I had to re-sign in, bring myself back in. And then all of a sudden, you just saw me pop right in the screen as if nothing happened. I don't know what it looks like on your end. I don't know if the picture froze or anything. I just think my picture just went out. But the show must go on. In life, when things happen, you just keep going. When your hair wants to let down, you just let it go. Right, Merlin? Merlin says yes. And thumbs up from Jane, who's going to be getting up for work real soon. Fun on Match Game. Absolutely love that. Kathleen is off for a while, so starting Monday. So that's really cool. So you will be with us for a while. We love it. And Kathleen says, have a great night, Jim. See you soon. Lovely hugs and kisses. Good night, all. Good night to you as well. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can see all the episodes archived on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Thank you, Merlin. Jim Masters TV. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We would love it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our episodes. Thanks for hanging with us. We love when you guys are here. You're the best. We're going to do some pop-up shows where we just chat and catch up with each other. You guys, about a month or so ago, you guys sent in some personal photos too. So we still have those. Those of you who sent in photos that we're going to show on one of our host lovely pop-up episodes. We're going to show those. If you still want to send in some photos of your summer, of your vacations, of your family, you can send them to jimmasterstv@gmail.com. That's jimmasterstv@gmail.com. Again, send in some of your photos. We're putting a show together. We're going to be showing some of our viewer photos. It could be of your family, your friends, your pets, your summer vacations. If it's winter, the winter vacations, whatever it may be, you can send them to jimmasterstv@gmail.com. Also, if there are guests that you would like to see appear as my special guest on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, hey, drop a line. Let us know. Send it to our show. That's our show's email address, jimmasterstv@gmail.com. Many of you have done that, and we really appreciate that. So again, if you miss any of the shows, you can see them all in the archives. Good night. Stay safe. You too, Sherry Larson. Maureen says, much lovely hugs to everyone. Mwah, and lovely hugs. And I know, Maureen, you like our summer hours starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, because you don't have to rush home from the hospital to try to get in. It gives you a little more time, right? It gives me a little more time, too, because of the busy shoot schedule I have during the day. But we're doing that just for now in the summertime and see how it goes. If you guys like the 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific, let me know, because we can always keep it that time. Or do you like the 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific? Certainly let us know. No sleep for me before work. Oh, wow. You're a real troopity. Unbelievable. Wow. Maybe have a couple of cups of coffee before you go to work, huh? I think Juanita is probably in bed because we start our show a little later in the summertime, and maybe it's a little late for her, so she's probably in bed. She's usually with us here too. But gang, we're going to wrap up. This was cool. This was one of our longer shows in recent times, and it was great. Good catching up with you as well. Sometimes when I do have some time after we wrap with our guest, I do like to chat with all of you and catch up, check in and chime in, as I usually say, and see how you guys are doing. And thanks again for all the lovity. If you missed an episode, there you go. 24/7, 365 on the YouTube channel. Good night, all. Be well. Cheers. Ciao. Take care. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Thanks for being with us. Lovity to you all, as we say here at JMS Live. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Thanks for being with us.